So the recording has been started.
Right, so let's get started then.
A very warm welcome to everyone to the back-to-back two knowledge sharing session by OHR, which is on 23rd and 24th of April 2022. From which one is offline and one is online session. As for the online session, it is the 99th knowledge sharing session of OHR, which will be held on 23rd of April 2022, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. And the session is on communicating despite differences using Pscho Geometrics by Ashish Jain, who is management consultant and behavioral trainer. And as for the offline session, it is also known as the Power K Breakfast. It will be held on 24th April, which is tomorrow, Sunday at 9:30 a.m. at Dr. D.Y. Patel Institute of Management and Research, Pimpri, Pune, by Dr. Shashikant. The session will start at 10 a.m. and the timing allocated for registration is from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. And in this session is exclusively for membership audience. And also a kind note, please, if the link gets disconnected or any mishappening is done in the meeting, I request you to please rejoin the session using the same link. We all know the importance the Supreme Almighty hold in our life. So I request everyone to please come together for the prayer and repeat after me. O God,
Oh God,
bless all with health and wealth.
bless all with health and wealth.
Bless all with money and harmony.
Bless all with money and harmony.
O God,
Oh God,
bless all with peace and bliss.
bless all with peace and bliss.
Bless all with wisdom and your devotion.
Bless all with wisdom and your devotion.
Thank you, sir, but it was expecting everyone to please come together. With this further ado, I request Mr. Ashish Jain to please take over the presentation.
All right, shall we start right away?
Absolutely, sir.
All right, wonderful. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ashish, and Sukriti gave a very quick introduction to me. Let me quickly tell you that I am a former IT professional. I did my engineering in electronics, post-graduation in software technology, worked in IT for 12 years. Along the way, and while I was playing various roles and responsibilities within IT, like programming, team lead, project manager, business consulting, pre-sales, etc., I fell in love with behavioral trainings. I realized that this is where my passion lies. And after 12 years of being in IT, I finally moved into full-time management consulting and behavioral coaching. Over the years, I have conducted about 3,300 plus training programs and trained more than 98,000 people. I'm sure I have not updated that number in the last few months. It must have crossed a lakh. Having said that, this session, Communicating Despite Differences, is something which is very critical to anyone in any industry, in any role, because we deal with people day in and day out, and we communicate. In fact, one of my very strong beliefs is you cannot not communicate. So whether you're keeping your cameras off, whether you're keeping your cameras on, whether you're smiling and not smiling, whether you're talking to me or not, whether you're asking questions or not, you are communicating something or the other all the time. Do you all agree? Yes, no, please type in chat why you're in. You cannot not communicate. We're always communicating. Yes, no? Please type. All right, fantastic. Great. I also need to understand from you your total years of work experience. So please, very quickly, if you can type just the number, not even the unit of time. Don't even put years or months. Just put all right. Wonderful. All right. 12, 1.5. Others, just type the number. 14. All right. Please keep typing. Please keep typing. Others, Sheetal, Rashmi, Raven, Satish, Abhijit, Mahesh, we're waiting for you. Dinesh, good to see you. Can we quickly type the total years of experience in chat? I wouldn't know whether you're there or not. Hello. All right, so we have quite a varied experience from all the inputs that we have received so far, ranging from 1.5 years of experience to up to 14 years of experience. Wonderful. 20, here comes 20. So Satish, you're killing them now with all your experience. Wonderful. 20 years of experience. Great. So let me quickly start with today's topic. Please confirm by unmuting one of you that you can see the slide as well as you can hear me very clearly. Can someone please
Yes.
unmute? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Communicating despite differences using psychogeometrics. All right, welcome. We've had our introduction. Let's quickly reflect on this. And I want your quick inputs on this. He who knows others is wise, and he who knows himself is enlightened. Make sense? Yes. We strongly believe that I understand my stakeholders, my manager, my wife, my husband, my kids. I know what they're going through. I know what they are thinking right now. I think I know them quite well. Do we really know who we are at the core? Do we know why do we do what we do? And where is it all coming from? Where is it all stemming from? Wouldn't it be wonderful to take our self-awareness to a different level altogether so that we understand ourselves very well, and then we make an effort and an attempt to understand others? With this thought, I want you to quickly type A or D, agree or disagree. People are not difficult. Each one of us has come across some difficult people, haven't we? While we were studying, maybe some of the teachers were a little difficult, maybe some of the students, fellow classmates were a little difficult. Sometimes neighbors can be difficult, sometimes parents can be difficult, sometimes kids can be difficult, sometimes spouse can be difficult, sometimes strangers can be difficult. But I have put down here, people are not difficult. Do you agree or disagree? I'm going to stop the share right now and wait for your responses. A or D, do you agree or do you disagree? I'm I'm playing the devil's advocate. I've given you so many categories where people have been a little difficult. So do you agree? People are not difficult, or do you say no, 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 no? People can be difficult, Ashish. Please put it in chat. Let it be not just a monologue. So Sheetal says no, people are not difficult, and she agrees. Smith also says no, no, people are not difficult. I agree, people are not difficult. But then why do we get sometimes exasperated, tired dealing with them? Why do we sometimes feel like breaking our heads while dealing with some people? Please tell me. Why can communication be so difficult at times if people are not difficult? If people were easy, then it would be fun dealing with them, fun communicating with them. And yet sometimes it can be very tiring, it can be very exasperating. Different personalities, yes, that's a good one. Different, oh wow, both of you are in sync right now, Sukriti and Dinesh. Different personalities, maybe you're thinking in the same lines. Wonderful. Which means people may not be difficult, people may be different. All right, but how do we find out, how do we know that people are sort of difficult or different? What makes them difficult or different? I need to see your responses. Sometimes they don't listen to you, sometimes they have prejudices, sometimes they have some biases about things about you. What makes people difficult? Sometimes they can be very aggressive, sometimes they can be very silent, they just don't open up. So what makes people difficult or sort of difficult? Can someone put it in chat? I've given you 3 or 4 pointers. Okay, they have difference of opinions, right? They just don't understand my point of view. Yes, because I'm so clear in my head, this is right, and yet someone is saying something which is radically different, isn't it? Yes, that can be challenging. I can completely understand. Different belief systems, absolutely. I believe something and their belief is completely opposite to my belief, and yet, yeah, absolutely. And you just don't understand where this is coming from. People are not behaving as per our expectations. Absolutely. Wonderful. And in my mind, it is in their good if they behave in a certain manner, and yet they don't do that. Very good. Fantastic. Right. So now that we have figured out that people are different in terms of belief, in terms of personalities, in terms of their behaviors, too often we let our differences with people in our lives, and they could be personal as well as professional, get in the way of developing productive and positive relationships. So sometimes we are living next door to someone and we don't interact with that person because we just don't like that person, because they're so difficult or different. It could be at a professional level, it could be within the team, it could be, okay, let me see if we can mute everyone. I can see some, I can hear some background. Smita, if you could please go on mute. Or Sukriti, if you can mute everyone and then I'll unmute myself. Right. So do you agree? Too often we let our differences with people in our lives to get in the way of developing productive and positive relationships. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we found a way of not only understanding self, understanding others, and use that knowledge to be able to develop fantastic relationships? Here is one of my most empowering communication beliefs. I just love it. If this is one thing that you could take from this session, believe me, it changes lives. Meaning of the communication is in the response that you get. A lot of times we say certain things with noble intent, and we say it politely and respectfully, and yet the other person just does not take it very well. They don't agree to it, they respond to it in a very different manner, a manner that was not expected. And then we just leave it there and say, I don't care. I have communicated with the best of intentions. I've used the right content, the right tonality, right body language, everything. If the person still has to misunderstand me, misinterpret my communication, so be it. I'm not going to take any further efforts. But I want you to ponder over it. If you could live with this belief, if you could demonstrate this belief day in and day out, if you could practice your behaviors rooted in this belief, meaning of the communication is the response that you get. Won't it be wonderful? You'll be taking 100% responsibility and onus of communication. You'll be tweaking it, you'll be flexing it, you'll be changing it so that finally the intent and the content of the message reaches the person. Yes, no? Would it be wonderful if we simply live by this belief? Meaning of the communication is in the response that you get. If the other person is not perceiving the right meaning out of my communication, it is me as a communicator who needs to change it, flex it, do whatever it takes to finally land the message, deliver the message. Yes, no? Please tell me, how do you find this one? Is it interesting? Is it empowering? Is it a little confusing? I want to understand from you. What do you make of this slide? Meaning of the communication is in the response that you get. मैंने तो उसको उसके भले के लिए कहा था, पता नहीं उसकी क्यों ना गुस्सा आ गया. Oh, hold on. If the other person got a little angry, then maybe your timing, maybe your tonality, maybe the words that you use, maybe the body language, something was not right, because of which the person did not receive it in the right manner. I want to understand from you. I'm going to stop the share. I want you to roll it in your head. Meaning of the communication is in the response that you get. And then we will deep dive into the history of psychogeometrics and a lot of interesting things coming our way. But please tell me, any questions on this particular slide? Meaning of the communication is in the response that you get. Welcome some of the new ones, Shreya. Those who are already here, your comments. What do you think of it? Is it interesting? Is it a little confusing? Revan, Satish, Rama, you're the only one who is left along with me on the camera to give me company. Others are just, all right, interesting, says Sukriti. All right, others, one word. Do you agree to this one? If this Zoom meet gets over, then please join on the same link. Thank you. All right, we'll do that. Please let me know. Bhagyashri, what do you think of this? The meaning of the communication is in the
Sir, I just joined, so I'm not having any understanding what is the
okay.
context is.
All,
I just joined one.
all right. Right. So rather than it being a monologue, I really want. Sukriti, thank you so much for responding very quickly. Others also, please, Raven and Sagar, make your presence felt. Sagar, you are being driven. You are being chauffeur driven. So please interact. We know that you're not driving. All right. Wonderful. So let's continue then. These are the kind of questions that human beings have asked themselves all their existence. What makes us different? Why are we each the way we are? Why isn't Sukriti exactly like me? All right. Why isn't Smita exactly like Sukriti? Why do we get along with some people so well? Why do some people trigger us? We just get so irritated, bugged. We lose our temper. We get short tempered. That's not me. But whenever I see this person, whenever I talk to this person, something happens, something triggers me. What do we really need in our relationships? These are some of the questions that we have always pondered with. Now, the more self-aware we are, the more we'll be able to gain from our work and other relationships. So not only will it impact our work, which is our professional life, but it is also going to impact our personal life. The more aware we are about people, the better connections we will share with them. And don't you all agree that the success in personal lives as well as in professional lives is directly proportional to how well we communicate with and connect with people? If we are not very good at connecting and communicating with people, maybe our success is going to be a little limited. That can become one of our blind spots. Now, with this, please remember 100% of our customers are people, internal or external. 100% of employees are people. And if we do not understand people, we don't understand business. So if you're really focused on improving your professional success, getting better results at work, then you need to have a far better understanding of self and others. That is critical to your success. With this background, let me quickly introduce you to a beautiful tool which will allow you to address these things, raise your self-awareness, understand people better, get connected with people better, understand the differences with people better, stop labeling them as difficult. In fact, looking forward to improving your effectiveness while dealing with these people who are similar to us. We get more out of it. There would not be much growth, there'll not be much debating, there'll not be much thinking out of the box, coming up with the new ideas. So we may be comfortable with people who are similar to us, but we are more effective with people who are different from us. All right. Having said that, I want you to quickly think of 3 adjectives that best describe you. I've just given you a couple of examples here: patient, focused, short tempered, whatever. But I'm giving you 30 seconds. If I was to tell you that, pick up 3 adjectives that best describe you. If you were to give an elevator pitch to someone and say, okay, that's me, 3 adjectives, what would those be? And why don't you put it in chat? And if you're feeling a little shy of putting it in chat, you can just write it down on a piece of paper, but please do this. All right. About 15 seconds more. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 or 8 seconds left. Once you have decided on the 3 adjectives that will best describe you, why don't you give me a thumbs up, everyone? Yes, Mahesh, I agree. Changes according to. Give me 3 adjectives that best describe Mahesh. And Mahesh, in various roles, it could be as a husband, as a brother, as a friend, as a citizen of India. I know you're playing multiple roles and you're wearing various hats, but just three, what would they be? All right. So Sheetal says sympathetic. Sheetal, go on and select 2 more, but I'm sure you've done that. Keep them aside. And now let's get into it. All right. Wonderful. So what is psychogeometrics? I'm sure you've figured out that it is a tool or an instrument which helps us improve our self-awareness, understand other people better, communicate with them in a manner that we don't find them difficult. We only find them interestingly different. We'll take up this challenge of figuring them out and improving our effectiveness both in personal and professional lives. So it was a concept originated in the year of 1978 by Dr. Susan Dellinger. She combined the knowledge of the work that was done in terms of personality, styles, etc. at that time with classical Carl Jung's psyche types, all right, and the left brain dominance and multiple communication models that were available at that time. So she defined a series of traits and characteristics associated with each shape. In fact, she used shapes, and you'll realize why it is such an important and such a different and such an effective way of identifying people with different personalities. There's something very charming about it, something very simplistic and very profound about it. So she came up with various shapes, and she said that you can categorize people in all these kind of shapes. The research that she conducted was completed in 2 phases, and it went on for about 3 years. So it was a very detailed and deep research. So finally, what she came up with was psychogeometrics, which is a science of understanding people and the art of communicating with them. So there is logic to it, which is the art of communicating with them. There is psychology to it, which is the art of understanding people. And there is logic to it, which is the art of communicating with them. So this concept is a brainchild of Dr. Susan Dellinger, as we have already said, and it has been presented to more than 5 lakh people. I'm sure the number is now is much higher than that. It's a very powerful system, which is a combination of two areas of scientific study: human personality, based on Carl Jung's work, as well as brain function. So when we look at Carl Jung's personality, this is what we have. Uh, Carl Jung established a theory which saw human personality in the form of types. All right. And primarily, there were two types: introverts. Some people are extroverts. These are, I'm talking about late 19th century. That was when Carl Jung was working on this study and research. However, we develop certain dominant traits and characteristics which defines our personality, the way we think, feel, and behave, and it's pretty unique and consistent to us.